Hello, welcome again here to another edition of Python programming. In this video, we are going to look at Python variables, and we're going to look at data types, operators, and some inputting text via the keyboard. We also look at some option arguments. So welcome, stay tuned, and if you have not yet subscribed, please do subscribe because you don't want to miss the ABC of Python programming, which is a language that can be used in developing web application, web development. It can be used in data science, machine learning, and artificial intelligence, plus many other sections of IT. It is to develop Python, last time we looked at how we can install Python, where you go to python.org website, and then you can be in position to download and install. Please, during installation, don't forget to check the box for adding the file to the path during the start of the installation. And also after that, we don't want to use the command prompt to write programs, but rather we're going to use an editor, IDE, and one of the popular editors is PyCharm, as you can see on the screen. To get PyCharm, you go to jetbrains.com/PyCharm, and there are two editions. There is community and then professional. So we download community for education purposes. Maybe you don't have money to pay for the professional one. Then after installing PyCharm, then we launch PyCharm, and it looks something like this window here. Now, when you get here, this is where you're going to be creating your source code. So to create your source code, you click File, then you go to Project. On a project, you click a new project, and then we already created a project, called it RG, and there are already two files, introduction and main. Now remember that Python files are saved with an extension of .py. So let's create our other file today where we are going to be writing our code. You put a cursor on the name of the project that you created, you right click, and then go to new. Then in new, you get a new menu where you hover down to Python file. So you click Python file, and then you're given a dialog box where you type the name of the file. Let's say we want introduction, maybe introduction 2 of Python. Then when you're done, press enter. And now it opens a window for you here. This is where you'll be writing your code. Python is a very easy language. You don't have to do a lot. Like for example, if you want an output on the screen, you simply type print, and then whatever text you want to be outputted, you put it in either in single quotes like that, or double quote. I would say my name is Ronald. Uh, yes, my name is Ronald Goloba. Yes, now this is a file that can be outputted on the terminal. Now we have to run this file. We have to run. You come here. Now this one is indicating current file. Sometimes it brings main, but you select the current file. Then you click here, run. The shortcut for running is Shift F10. So you shift F10, and then your output will be shown here at the terminal. My name is Ronald Golova. So we have started our programming, and today we want to look at operators in Python, and then of course these operators we must have variables. For example, we can start by creating the variable, which is very easy. You can say we have a variable A, we store there a value like a 6. Then we get another variable B, we can store there another value like maybe 80. So those are the two variables. Now Python has operators. The operators, there are many, and we have, for example, arithmetic operators, which includes addition, subtraction, division, multiplication, and maybe modulo operator. Now here we want to output, for example, we want to get maybe to add the values of, we want to get the sum of those two values, that is A and B. So we can say print A plus B. Yeah, something like that. If you want to run this program, it is a current one. So you click that, and then you get my name is Ronald Golova, then 86. 86 has no meaning. It may not have meaning. You may want somebody who is going to read your program to understand what exactly you mean. Now we want to add a string of characters before the operation. Then we can put there the quote is uh, the sum of A and B is with a colon, then you close your quote and then you put comma. Now that comma, it will enable program to pick what has been stored in variable A and B and bring it there and find its sum. So that is yes, that is that. So yes, we can now run the program. Remember, to run the program, we said it is Shift F10. Yeah. So the sum of A and B is 86. You can scroll down here to see the output on the terminal. So my name is Ronald Golova. The sum of A and B is 86. Because these programs are executed code by code and starts by executing the first code. We may want maybe to find the difference between the two. So instead of the subtraction, addition, you put the subtraction, then we can try to shift F10 and see. Yeah, it is still giving you the sum of A and B is negative 47. The text is quite meaningless, but remember, computer is garbage in, garbage out. If you give it a wrong instruction, it also gives you a wrong instruction. Okay? So you have to be careful on what you're doing. Now let's have maybe let it be B minus A. It will still give you that the sum of A and B is 74, which is not correct. So what you have to do is to change the text that you put here. But sometimes you may even want to actually bring the value which is stored in A here. So what you do, you get here, you close that string, and then put a comma. Now the value which is stored in A will be brought here. Then again put a comma, then you open the quote. Then that and also ends in a quote. Then you put a comma, and then the value which is stored in B will be put here just after the word and. Then after B, comma, even is a string. Yes, so it's the sum of A, but of course we want now the difference, not the sum. The difference of A and B is you run. Yes, you can see the program now. The difference of 6 and 80 is 74. Yes, so because in A is 74, but if you change here B and then you change here A, still you can see what happens in the output. Yes, so this is the difference of 80 and 6 is 74. So these are the mathematical operators. You can still put there addition, B plus A. Sorry, we have already done the addition, maybe the multiplication, that is a symbol for multiplication, and then you can be able to get the output. And this text, whatever you write here, is not going to change. It is only going to be just a matter of your whatever. It will be a matter of your, it is just a matter of your text that you have written. Okay, so that is that. That is, those are some of the operators. There is also division. For example, you can say B divided by A. Yes, B divided by A, what do you get? Yes, so 80 divided by 6, you get 13.33. Again, there is this double division, whereby the double division is only allowing integer division, meaning that 80 divided by 6, it returns only the whole number. It does not return the fractional part. That is if you want integer division. There is also modular division, B divided by A. It does not give the quotient, rather it returns the remainder. What is the remainder when you get 80 divided by 6? That modulo returns that. So 80 divided by 6, the remainder is 2. Yeah, you can just put that the remainder when remainder when this is divided by remainder when B is divided by A is, yes, let's run and see. Yes, so remainder when 8 is divided by 6 is 2. Yes, so you have to give your, this one, it is disturbing me. I no longer want this first line. This one, I can comment it out so that the program does not run it. So I put a hash at the beginning. That one will not be run. Yes. So you can say the remainder when 80 is divided by 6 is 2. Not only, maybe you can change whatever is stored in A. Maybe you can say that is 8. Yes, you can see the remainder when 8 is divided by 8 is 0. Okay. And you can still go back, maybe put some integer division. If we carry out integer division, see the output. The output, it is giving us 10. What about if it is not integer division? What happens? It will return 10.0. So there it is doing floating point division. Yes, so if it is floating numbers, it returns 10.0. If it is integer, it returns just 10 without the fractional part. So those are some of the arithmetic operators. We also have other operators like, for example, the comparison operators. We can try to compare. We can try to compare what happens between A and B. There are different comparison operators. For example, we can say that A is equal to B. Print A equal to B. Is it right? Yes. Equal to, we use double. Yes, A equal to B. That is an equal operator, equality operator. It is returning false because A is not equal to B. Another operator is greater than. So there we're saying that A is greater or equal to B, which is still false. A is not greater or equal to B, so it returns false. Then we can say there is also another operator which is called the less than operator. So instead of the greater than, we can put there the less than. A is less than B. Of course, 8 is less than 80. So we expect to return it is true. 80 is less than, sorry, 8 is less than 80. So that is the less than operator, even when you put less than or equal to. Less than or equal to, still we're saying that A is less or equal to B. It is still true. Those are some of the operators. There is also another operator which is called not equal. Okay, not equal, we put an exclamation mark just before the equal sign. A is not equal to B. That is true. Yes, A is not equal to B. Good. So those are the comparison operators. Those are comparison operators. Then other operators that are allowed in Python, we have uh, logical operators. There are two logical operators, the and the or operator. Okay, the and the or operator. For example, you can say that A is not equal to B and B and B maybe is equal to 80. So we have used a logical operator, the and. You remember from Boolean algebra, that one is going to be true because both statements are true. It is true, B is equal to 80 and A is not equal to B. That is very true. So when you run this program, you're going to get it is true. But if you say maybe, but B is less or equal to 80, is that true? Because of the equal sign, it is true. If you remove the equal sign, it is not true. So that statement, for this expression of logical operator to be true, the and, both expressions must be true. For example, here, A is not equal to B, that is true. B is not equal to, B is less than 80, that is false. So the second expression is not true, so it returns false. Another operator is called an or operator. That is, A is not equal to B, or B is less than A. For that one to be true, at least one of them must be true. If one of the condition is true or both are true, then it is going to be true. Otherwise, it is false. Let's say, let's put here A equal to B. A equal to B, that is false. B is less than 80, still, that is still false. Sorry. Yes, that is false. But if we make one of them true, you say B not less than but equal. Because one of the conditions is true, it will turn out to be true. That is true. So those are the logical operators. Those are the logical operators. Now, next, what we're going to do, we want to see how can we input text via the keyboard. Now here we have the value of A and B entered at the time of writing a code. But maybe we may want a user to enter that value of A, enter the value of B, and then the program will compare and returns the value based on the user input. So that is inputting text via the keyboard. So to input text, Python uses a function which is called input function, okay, to take user input. By default, it returns the input in form of a string. A string, this is a group of characters like A, B, C, D. When you put them together, they form a string. Or even if they are numbers, 1, 2, 3, if it is entered as a string, you cannot use it for multiplication. You cannot use it for any mathematical operation. So, what do we do? For example, maybe let's write completely new code. Let's write a new code. Let's say input, it is in smaller letters. Input, yes, open the bracket. And what are you inputting? You are inputting your text. For example, you can say, what are you learning now? What are you learning now? That is a code which is going to allow you to enter text via the keyboard, and that text you can, remember as this terminal, you can minimize it from here. Then even this one, you can also minimize it such that you have a bigger working space. Okay? You have a bigger working space. And another thing, if you want, you can even increase the size of this working window if you want, where you come to this, you click there, or you go to file, then usually there is a menu here, file, then you go to view, and then in view you come down here to appearance. Appearance also brings another menu. Then in the menu, sorry, there's appearance, you come to the menu of appearance, then there is zoom. So you click zoom, and then it will allow you to zoom here. Zoom 150, zoom 200. Let me select 200. Yes. So now I want to run this program. Good. It's asking you, what are you learning now? When you click here, it gives you insertion point. And then you can supply your response. I am learning Python programming. That is the user response. When you're done, you hit enter and the program stops there. Why? Because you have not instructed it to output your text that you entered on the console. But if you want, you can get your text that you have entered and store it in the memory of a computer. Any text, anything to be stored in a computer, you store it in a place which is called a variable. So let's follow this one. Let's call it uh, let's just call it a simple letter Y, and then so that is that. That means that now whatever you're going to enter here is going to be stored in a variable Y. And then after that, we can be able to output it. So remember, to output, we supply print, then print Y. We want to output our variable, what is stored in a variable. Okay. Then now run the program. What are you learning now? Python programming. That is what we are learning now. You press enter. Once the process exited, now you see Python programming. Because that's what you have supplied. What are you learning now? Python programming. Or you can get here and put a string of characters. Supply I am learning. Then comma. Yes. So this is a string, or if you don't use a comma, you can use a plus. That is a string concatenation. You are concatenating what is going to be entered in the keyboard by the user onto this statement. Yes. What are you learning now? Python programming. Enter. Yeah, you hit the return key. Now you can see I am learning Python programming. That is string concatenation. So we are concatenating the text entered via the keyboard. Okay. Next. So that is how you can enter text. But then it is also possible to enter a text via the keyboard, but maybe we want to use it for calculations. Okay, we want to use it for calculation. Let's, for example, write a program that we can use to convert temperature from degrees Celsius to Fahrenheit. And say y input, what is the temperature in degrees Celsius. What is the temperature in degrees Celsius? We want to know the temperature in Celsius. Yes. So our temperature in Celsius. So maybe now after the temperature has been entered. Sorry. The challenge here. Good. After the temperature has been entered, we want it to be converted into, so you can say print in Fahrenheit. We want to convert that in Fahrenheit. It is, we close our quote, then comma, then we do the string concatenation. So we do the string concatenation, then we add. Now we are going to pick what has been converted, what has been entered, we convert it into Fahrenheit. So we use 9/5 times the temperature in degrees Celsius, then plus 32. That one is going to convert. If you want, we can put them in brackets, but it is okay. We can leave it like that. Then let's run. What is the temperature in degrees Celsius? Maybe it is 60. What is the output? Say type error. Can't multiply sequence by 9 int. of type float. So what has happened is that this one is of type float, but you're multiplying it by a value which is not an integer. Remember we said that the input function enters strings, not integers. So what do? We can enter a value which is a string and then convert it into an integer. Yes, we can convert it into an integer. How do we do that? During the time of declaring the input here, we use a function eval. Eval, open bracket. Of course, whenever you open a bracket, you close that bracket. Whatever you open, you have to close it. So let's close that. Now this eval is going to help us to it is going to help us to convert the input from string to an integer, and now we can use it for multiplication. Let's run and see what the temperature in degrees. Okay, don't mind whatever. Maybe it is 60. Enter. Finished. Type error. Still can only concatenate string, not float to string. What does that mean? That now the whole of this one now is a float, but cannot be concatenated into a string. This is a string, this is a float. So what do? We convert this one again into a string. The value which has been calculated, it is a float, then let it appear as a string. So we use str to convert this one into a string. Yes. Then let's run and see. What is the temperature? It is 60. So it is giving us, in Fahrenheit, it is 140 degrees. You see that? Yes, this one has to be converted into a string. But if you don't want to use this one here, that one, you can use a comma like that. Okay? You can use a comma and then you run. What is the temperature in degrees? Maybe Celsius, it is 100. So in Fahrenheit, it is 212. That is a temperature conversion. So what have you learned here is we have learned how to get the input from a string and we convert it into an integer. Then after, how to concatenate a string onto an integer or a float. That float, we convert it into a string, or instead of using concatenation, which is the plus, we just use a comma and then we pick a value which is stored there and we put it there. So I think a comma is much easier to use than the concatenation. So that is the input function's job, is to ask the user type something in and to capture what the user types. The part in quotes is the prompt that the user sees. Then eval is used when we want to get numerical input from the user's keyboard. So the eval function converts the text entered by the user into a number. When you do not use a comma and use a string concatenation, Python does not concatenate a string and a numerical number. So as you have already seen, okay? So what we do, we have to convert that numerical number into a string. Okay? by using the str command. Okay, so that is that. Now, lastly, maybe we want to look at optional arguments in Python. Python has optional arguments, and some of these arguments we have what we call the SEP. SEP is SEP, that one. But of course, in smaller letters. Let me comment it out. It has to be in smaller letters, not capital letters. Remember, Python is case sensitive. When you write a capital letter, it is different from a smaller letter. So we use the SEP argument to create space. Which kind of space? I think, um, what can I do? Should I continue with this program? Yeah, let me continue with this program. Here I say in Fahrenheit it is this. Let's put maybe comma. Um, then we can say sep. No, let me write a new code. Let me give you a new example where you can easily understand the usage of sep. Let's say we have print. Um, let's say the sum of maybe 6 and maybe 14 is, okay, put a comma. Now here I put 6 plus 14. That one is without a step. Then we can also have another print statement. Let's have another print statement down here. The sum of 6 and 14 is 6 plus 14, comma, sorry, I wanted the comma. Now we supply the argument sep, then sep equal to, then you put the quotes like that one. What does it do? Maybe just even before the sep, let's put there another quote, maybe full stop, quote, something like that. That will bring a full stop, then after comma. That will bring a full stop after the sum. But what is the purpose of set? Run the program. Okay. Oh, print the sum of 6 and 5 is this. Sep, where is the mistake? Oh, here we did not close the bracket. Great. Okay. So the sum of 6 and 14 is 20. Then the second statement, the sum of 6 and 14 is 20. See how this one is very close to 20. How 20 is very close to the word is. So what do we do? What happens when we put a space between sep? Create a space, run. You see? So the sep has created a space between this one and this one. So it has created a space before 20 and after 20. Let me put another space, run the program and see again. You can see how a new space has come. So whatever you put in a quote here, let me say I put RG. What happens? SEP RG. Mhm. It has created the RG before 20 and the RG after 20. But this between this quote and the RG, there is no space. So I click there, put a space there. Then also this one, maybe remove that space so that this dot will be near RG. Yes. So that is the purpose of SEP. If you want to separate it by a star, you put there a star. It will bring a star. If you want two stars, still we use two stars between. But of course, it's better to put the space. So that is the purpose of SEP. It creates a space, separate, kind of like a separation. Okay, that is the SEP argument. You can see on the first one, there is no change. There is no change between the first one. So there is an option argument that SEP. It is a short for separator. You use it to change the space to something else. Okay. You use it to, if you want to put hash hash before this variable, still we put there hash hash in between and it will be created. Another argument is called the end. What you remember, the print function will automatically advance the next line whenever you put. You remember when you put this print, the next statement will be on a new line. Okay, but it is possible to get the print statement from here appear on the same line, such that this statement here appears on this same on that statement. So there what we do, we use the end argument. We use the end argument to bring the next print statement onto the first one. Where? What do I mean? We are here. Now for the end, we get here, put comma, then we put end equal to, then we put quotes. Remember, those quotes can be single quotes, they can be double quotes. Python accepts both. So that is that, and let's run and see. Now you can say the sum of 6 and 14 is 20. The sum of 6 and 14 is 20. So this the SEP is still there. It is okay. You may have it, you may not have it. It is also working. It's doing its function. But here the can say maybe the second sum. The second sum of 6 and 14 is, now you can see here, there is no space between the 20 and the sum. We would like to bring there a space. How? We click here, no, here, put space and see. Yes, you can see the space now has come. That is just formatting your text. The sum of 6 and 14 is 20. The second sum of 6 and 14 is 20. So that is the use of the end argument. You can use it as much as you can. So that is that as far as we are concerned. Let me leave you with something, maybe some exercise. I would like you to write a program that is going to output. I want you to write a program that is going to output something like this on the keyboard, on the console. I want it to output something like that. Print out that square in the console, the square or triangle, whatever it is. Okay. It prints out a triangle on the console. That is a, it prints out a box like that on the console. That is one exercise. Another one, I want you to write a program that is asking a user to enter a number, print out the square of the number, but use the SEP option argument to print it in a full sentence that ends in a period. Okay? Yes, use the SEP option argument to print it out in a full sentence that ends in a period. A period is a full stop. Okay? A period is a full stop. So you prompt the user to enter a number. Then after I say the square of that number is, even I want that number to be shown. For example, if you enter 10, I want the output to say the square of 10 is, then it gives the square. That is the second assignment. The third one, write a program that asks the user to enter 3 numbers. Use 3 separate input statements for those 3 numbers. Create a variable called total and average that holds the sum and the average of the 3 numbers, and print out the values of total average. It prints out the average of it prints out the values of total and average of the 3 numbers. That is the third question. The fourth question, you write one, ask the user for the price of the meal. You write a Python code that is asking the user for the price of the meal and the percent tip they want to leave. You see, people get tips. Then it prints out both the tip amount and the total bill with the tip included. Yes, you write a program asking a user for the price of a meal, and also after it asks the user what is the percentage tip. It asks the user what is the percentage tip they want you to leave. Then after, the program should print both the tip amount and the total bill with the tip included. Thank you very much. We meet again yet for other statements. We'll be looking at control flow, where we'll be looking at loops and if function. But please, if you have not subscribed, subscribe such that each time we add a video, you get notified, and share with as many friends as possible throughout the social network by supporting this channel. Thank you very much. God bless you.